What up, what up, what up? It's Coach Mike coming at you. I got a great message for you today, to be honest. I'm waking up a little early this morning because I have a sales call that I have to go to for my job. Um, and I was recording a video, and my sister just called me, and she's like, it sounds like something's talking down there. What's going on? And, usually I record these at like 7 in the morning, so I gotta be a little quieter. And I was like almost done with my video, and of course the call like cuts off everything, so I've got to re-record. So I'm gonna be a little bit quieter, but I'm still gonna get the message out to you guys. And I know it's early, like my hair is a little, messed up and stuff. So here's something my cousin taught me. Oh, breach! Here we go. Boom. Um, what I'm gonna talk to you guys about is the grind. The grind is the 14-hour workday versus the 4-hour work week. Now, I'm not saying that you need to work 14 hours a day every single day, but a perfect example of this is Charlie Munger said there was a construction company that came up to him and asked him to invest in their company because they needed help. Now, what the guy said is that they were willing to work 14 hours a day, 6 days a week, when things were down, when they knew that they had to improve, right? They didn't say that they would do that always, but when things were down, when they knew that they needed to put in the extra effort, they were willing to do that work. What do you think happened to those guys? Charlie Munger said they're living the life of health, wealth, love, and happiness, right? Now, what I want to do right now is myth bust a little bit. The 4-hour work week isn't exactly realistic, and if you read the book, it doesn't exactly encourage you to only have a 4-hour work week. Tim Ferriss, he's created an empire, and I guarantee you he doesn't work 4 hours a week if you ask him. Now, the idea is outsourcing, and I still encourage you to read the book. There's a lot of great concepts in there, but what I want to point out to you guys is nobody in history has had a 4-hour work week who's had an impact, right? There's no way you can get around putting in the hours. You just can't do it. If you want to have an impact in this world, you've got to put in the hours. That's one thing that you're going to have to get comfortable with. For example, I wake up at 4:35 every morning. I'm working up until 7. Then I come home and I put in another 2-3 hours at least, and I'm thinking about waking up earlier just so I can get in some more reading. I'm putting in long days, long hours, and I'm still enjoying life. I'm still enjoying a balanced life. I'm working with a full-time job right now, so I work 8 hours a day. I put about 4 or 5 hours into my dream, and sometimes 6. It's just the idea is Elon Musk said this. He said he cannot be outworked. He won't be outworked, right? He's the guy who invented Tesla. And Thomas Edison, he said, I've got the quote for you right here. I was wondering what would have happened to me if some smooth talker, some fluent talker talked me into an 8-hour workday, right? He wouldn't have been able to come up with 1,000 patents before he passed away. Elon Musk is a perfect example. He's putting in a 14-hour workday. That's like his norm. I'm not encouraging that you throw away all your life for a 14-hour workday, but I'm saying when it's time to grind, be willing to do whatever you need to do. I've got another great quote for you guys. So there's two kinds of happiness, right? There's the happiness that comes from where's the quote? So this came from Daniel Kahneman. He was the guy who won the Nobel Prize talking about happiness. It says there's memory happiness and there's experiential happiness. That's in the moment happiness. If you can master both of these through your work, if you can enjoy what you're doing because it's the right thing and you are lined up, that's the first one. Then if you get through the grind and you accomplish your dreams, getting through the grind and putting in all that work, then you'll have memory happiness. An example of this is Nelson Mandela, right? He was in prison for 27 years, and then he came out and changed the world. He had memory happiness, after he accomplished all that. I believe you want to put in the work now, because when you're, let's say you live to 100, right? You're gonna probably not be able to do 30 pull-ups when you're 100, right? You're not probably going to have the same energy to impact the world, but you're gonna have memory happiness. So do things now. I heard Joyce Meyer say, you've got about 50 years of productivity. So, and those years are usually from 20 to 70, right? So if you feel down and out and you feel it's too late in life to accomplish your dreams, like, just think about the small percentage that you have lived compared to your productive years. I mean, even if you're 50, that's still about half. It's the morning. Anyways, like, I'm 25, right? I'm 25 and I'm putting in the work. I've only supposedly given up 5 years of my productivity life. Now, it's not that I wasn't productive for the last 5 years, but I'm like taking action now. I'm like doing what I need to do to become a leader and actually putting myself out there. I started researching and studying people and changing my life about 4 years ago, 5 years ago. Back in 2010, I was 217 pounds. I would listen to motivational speakers. I looked up different mentors. I would research successful people and what it took. I started a group and I saved all inspirational posts that I would find, and it started out as just an archive. But then I started adding people to it and they liked it. But the point is, get the idea out of your head that eventually you're going to live this 4-hour work week. Don't have that mentality. If you have the mentality that you need to get away from something and only have a 4-hour work week, like if you say, if you're coming to your friend, you're like, man, I'm dating this girl and we're getting married, and guess what? I figured out a way to only spend 4 hours with her a week. That's a bad sign, right? You should be dating somebody who you are trying to spend more time with. Or like if you're having a 14-hour, or if you're having a 4-hour work week, or if you're trying to have a 4-hour work week, that's the wrong mentality. If you're working to try to get away from your work, that's a bad sign. So recognize that. I'm gonna close this off. I'm gonna see if I have any other quotes for you guys real quick, and then I'm gonna work out. Let's see. For example, if you work 100 hours a week, I know it's crazy, but let's just say, for example, most people work 40 hours a week. That means that you're going to accomplish in 3 or 4 months what people do in a year. That's something that came from Elon Musk. And I'm not saying you should be a workaholic. There's a balance to this, right? But I'm talking about grinding it out, learning to love the grind, learning to not get wrapped up in the idea that you're going to eventually work less hours, right? Enjoy what you're doing. Find something where you lose track of time, not counting the hours. Find something you do where you lose track of time, okay? I'm going to grind it out. It's time to work out, guys. Love you. God bless. Peace.